statistics available indicate that close to 2 billion people, they are almost 2 billion people are Muslims, people that we need to reach with the gospel of Jesus Christ. And into the charity TV, ever more than BRC, how they bit me, I reach these people, start an effective conversation, not just a conversation, but start an effective conversation with Muslims. What about so more than ever highlighting this? Highlighting here, but just share at highlights, at followers, at tag anyone you can tag anyone you can tag me more about. So tag you go Facebook and more about, just tag them, tag your more, and you can copy the link and share on WhatsApp platforms as well. Just share on any WhatsApp platform you want to share on. Send a bit to me. A reaching call for just keep sharing. Never apple phone so any opportunity and to Christo. Many Derek Dan so Anna Edi Juman me. Then the nomina me di apologetic I want you say Benjamin Acha Anna Dan Dana or Dan Jumedi or Totono. Sreni abasa hyehyɛ ne yie ɛma no gyina but mpempe deɛ matena makonya so na ho dwuma na medie na mefa akonya nso akae adɔfoɔ sɛ yɛwɔ app a ɛrane. If you are not knowing that you have an app that is running. It's running on iOS and it's running on Android phones as well. On Android, just go to your Google Play Store and just download Chariot TV app. On iOS, just go to your Play Store and download Chariot TV app. It will come. Your website, so it is running. All the things we are doing, in our website, so and you may send a metro you so preaching Christ to Muslims, part 3, and you must say Jamaica at to highlight in the room or the room watching live at highlight, and I'm going to say particular be incoming Asante quite MP on so Abba or the two watching live from Asante quite. Just let us know where you're watching us from. We'll be glad, and let us hear from you in comment section with regards to your question, regards to what you are doing. On the question 2 more, the baking kind. It be a question I know into Bomodin. Never question 2. Unya Derek, so tell me come Mwado.
Unya go fado me ho ye pa na mpacha onso e.
Me so mo ye igusu anisa kakaka ye ko kakaka. Na sena niam eko e wo fam.
Unya me adom bibia ye boko. Ka meka bibi ba to de ento aso. Ka meka sa Aizentafo awo ba ko ke di asem ba ntu de ento aso.
Men try cry. Unya won't afford that. It didn't even cast and tafwa. Won't try. Men try. Yes. But let's talk about the previous sections. Maybe give us a summary of what has happened and what people appetite for this third session possibly.
Okay. Medasipa. Nkomo no said ye sha ase no ye hwe preaching Christ to Muslims, and the main focus of Yankoma Yedi ni se etwase ye di asempa no ekokodu ye nuanom ye nanfofo ye busuafo a enye e Christofo anase se mega se enkofo a omo de omo njintum se Jesus Christ oyo Nyankopon Jesus Christ ba be wudi ji nipa nkwa etwase etimi kokodu won chen na me ka se ba ye preaching mu a Yes, Christo commissioner the shares, a Jumedio the shares, as he encouraged as a fast and panning corner. Yaya dear power when it comes to dealing with denominationalism, especially among the churches of Christ. We've done excellent when it comes to reaching denominations with their truth. Nipa do not have a Bible, no, and we see the trace. It be more twisted scriptures, no, and what dear be sorry, baby, or di Juma. Christianity, no, and yes, anete. Ye di hu Juma ye power church of Christ, me ya dear. But se do incremufo mu a de me hu ni se ye ejuma no ya ye bi but eswa so compared to juma ya ye on denominationalism I won't say juma ya ye in Islam no eswa pa na emphasis ade bia metai kan say it is understandable say ba sa because in every generation no so church history the opposite Christianity kese pa no eno ho na ya ye tan say preachers any asempakafo etai ema responses no the year no amasa problem no akofom enti Ghana has say now we've not had major issues with Islam attacking Christianity in that open sense ama ebia meka say within the churches of Christ you say okay this is a problem so let's deal with it But over the years, you've seen say when it comes to dawa, Muslims or more any or more evangelism or more Mambubo places. So what Kumasi, KJTia, Anase Accra, Circle, Nima, Ashaiman, some of these hotspot places, Muslims say dawa power, any Hong Kong university, some call dawa, and sometimes Christians are ill prepared to give responses to some of the objections. Not just Christians giving responses to the objections. Say be or Kasetia, Christosoma Yema objection, there be. But say Yetimidia Sempananka Sankasa ko on Chenio Marcus Niadiano. A very difficult pa. And I shared this experience last time. Say Brian War University and now the university in Ghana, Church of Christ for a tire side in the pie, Makwaya, you call rural evangelism. And Adebakwa Brazilian Sobekaya, anytime you be Kobia, no say members Kokoshia, Ebia Muslims are. They will
we avoid that's the word. If you are an episode we avoid Muslim communities. Red zone, don't go there. Avoid Muslims communities.
Yakobe Bimpa, Muslims, Ewompa. Everyone say Yako to set me Kaibra, Yeba, Sunyani, some time ago, Kenwestiko, Sunyani Koye evangelism. And who says Sunyani, a big community mixed with Muslims, Muslim. And especially evangelism team now fresh say brother Biapako share Muslim. And he said, Ubetinia switch you can say prospects. Now, I mean, one say experience.
Let me share with you my solemn experience I had.
Okay.
I said roughly minimum I said I do 8 years to crowd there, but I was close to the border of I think Cote d'Ivoire. One of the either Cote d'Ivoire or one of our neighbors, our borders. Into evangelism. So as usual, we preach door to door and have those things. But maybe aside my door to door and mostly, then one of my responsibilities is at dawn, on information center do then I preach at night at dawn that time. One time I was preaching and then all of a sudden I saw some people standing in front of the gate, like information center gates. I couldn't make sense. Why are they there? Well, I was preaching, so I preacher, coming somewhere. So when I was done, and I was about I was signing off. I'm so well fine. And I'm saying, that's a pie. It's you that we have listened to you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think it was the Thursday or so. Their point was, as one more kind, as we have listened to you, I've understood what they were saying. But the point is this: baby, Awujina Okasano is Islamic dominated community. So your baptism doesn't make sense to them. They don't care. Okasa about Christmas, they don't care. Anything you talk about that is coming from the Bible, they don't seem to. Doesn't bother them. For instance, Okase, you knew who made that. Well, they are not in the first place for them to worry their head on it. So what are you saying? It would be best you communicate what the Muslims have to hear rather than just preaching your normal, typical evangelistic messages. Well, it strikes me say really and truly all the public preachings I hear was targeted towards Catholics, Pentecostals, Methodists, the denominations. I should put it, and with Muslims a few completely. So it will be difficult trying to reach Muslims with our public preaching like that. So that's my experience. Yeah,
this is exactly what I was driving at, and I'm happy, sir, from your experience and you are sharing this. And I believe the comment section, say, when was the last time you call public preaching? Your topic I say Islam and Christianity, which is the way to salvation, and kind topics. And now me can say, in some sense, I don't blame us so much, but in a very major way, I feel say we have not done a lot. I can make us say you're failing, but you're failing. We just need to do a lot. Yeah, say in day one, no, your lesson one, no, may emphasize a strategy. Say the strategy I did pretty obi denominational. Very different from the strategy I need obi Muslim ekodin common. And that strategy is also different from speaking to obi atheist. Obi on jintum say nyankopon bi.
Yeah.
And even among the atheists, no, it is different how you approach atheist or academic. Any atheist or no what be no okay. And I know say when we learn these differences any approach now, it will make us effective evangelists. Yes, we are doing the work, but to be effective, we need to be able to look at the strategies. And in the first and second lesson, I may emphasize it. Say a lot of Christians get angry, or we get good word is uncomfortable. Say, hey, I don't know Muslim for, especially when they see the approach you use it to Muslims, it's a different from Obionium Muslim. And some of them, especially call WhatsApp pages or call Facebook comment section. Now, Church of Christ for America, members of the Lord's Church. No, like, why are you going to do the debate with Muslims? Why are you doing this with them? And I always emphasize that I don't get hurt when I hear negative comments, but it only tells me that the mindset of the Muslim. Because last week, discussing in lesson 2, no, I was emphasizing, say, Muslims are part of a group of people, Jonathan, they are very, very dedicated.
Yeah.
They are very, very committed when it comes to learning the truth and also teaching others and bringing people to Islam.
Learning what they perceive to be truth.
Thank you for the correction. Learning what it's like they are deep-seated in it and they want other people to know. And one of the things that made me the way they dress. Whether the person is can say on far Islam serious, and I say on Shadan Adiba so distinctive here. Appearance, you don't need to struggle to know that this guy is a Muslim. And they are not scared to let people know that this is what they believe.
They stand for. They don't shun away from their stance.
At all. And I'm saying I notice he says all person who Muslim, especially men, we are very zealous pa. Omo hase. Yes.
People who are zealous. And most of the times, do you know where it's coming from? They have been praying a lot of times, so it gives us a go to JC for a long time. We start seeing black spot there, and it's coming from that.
And do you know, sir, even amongst Muslims, some of them are perceivedly, like they give them that utmost respect and growing of beard. Islam, so there are Islamic sources say say uja beard like it's perceived amongst them. My point is that they don't joke with their religion. But unim say empire, they will pray 5 times daily. Sorry, anajo holiday, and it's associated to Islam. One of the things are most people big concern in terms of person you can't say say 5 daily prayers are Muslims. Most of them are zealous or you cannot find it in the Quran. It is not the Quran at the moment. The Quran and your Quran name almost our instruction. They say they should pray 5 times. So where are they getting it from? Okay, no, you better home come at an appropriate time. But you can ask any Muslim friend, and a Muslim should point it to us from the Quran. 5 daily prayers. Maybe Allah commanded is a moment 5 times. It is not there. So, some of the foundational teachings and doctrines of Islam is not found in the Quran. What they are not in China. And Nyama Bebrea Quran Nikano, my predicting and say about 60 to 70% of the entirety of the Quran, it rests on the Bible.
Yeah, I mean, the point is that the Quran makes references to so many things in the Bible. So someone who is familiar with the Bible, well, it's not Quran one, he will be seeing, of course, there are divergence, because the divergence are your name Quran never can where Bible name. They add certain things, details to it, which you won't find it in the Bible. But their
Exactly.
names and some issues are found in the Bible.
100%. And to me, that is very striking, because if you are going to rely 60 to 70% on the Bible, and yet any single time, and Jonathan with emphasis, and yet any single time the Quran makes any reference to any Bible character, in the end, it changes the story.
Yeah, and because there's always divergence.
Not a single time Kunabeka say, okay, this story you are reading off in the Quran about a Bible character, no, okay, Bible character, no Bible, no,
exactly same. Yeah,
it's always something different. And yet the question is that the Muslims will tell us they are following the teachings of the prophet, or an Abrahamic religion. And it's very interesting. This week, I think Friday and Saturday, Matro an article on this topic concerning Ishmael. Say Muhammad is not a descendant of Ishmael. In a separate lesson here, we will talk about it, but it's not true. But that claim has been made. And even Christopher Bimpo, and your lesson too, no, I looked at the mindset of the Muslim, especially about God and about Jesus Christ. And about God, the concept of Tawheed. Muslim Bia said the oneness of Allah, it is the greatest command in Islam. Quran chapter 112. You can say Quran in 4 verses. Can it clearly say Allah begets not, neither does he beget anybody or your sovereign or niba. And not just that, he's Echad or your one. Not not Echad. Echad is from Hebrew.
Echad is
single, like okay, in Hebrew would be like Yahid. Say single one, not like Echad, a complex one like in Christianity, no. And so some of these things, I know someone say, how can you find that concept Tawheed, another word Tawheed, Quran in it is also not there. So only Muslim for in common, sometimes we don't know where to start, we don't know where to go. One thing Muslims always tell Christians, oh, Mumuji Trinity, oh, Mumuji way, so in Bible, the word Trinity in the Bible,
yeah.
I am emphasizing this to show, say, Christopher should also understand that the word Tawheed is not in the Quran, yet they believe the concept that Allah is single one.
So maybe to make it clear with be OT, when you say Tawheed, which language is that? And
please, that is Arabic.
So Tawheed and English. Tawheed is not English. So don't the point is I'm just trying to draw certain things out. Then nobody go and make go and mess yourself up with someone. Tawheed is not English. It's an Arabic word. It's more of like an Arabic version of what we call is it the Arabic version of the oneness of God, the monolithic? Yes. So to maybe serve a background on it, there are three. Should I say three? Yeah, there are three monolithic religions. Because the monolithic religions are religions that believe that there is one God: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Though what they call oneness is the problem, but they are looked as monolithic religions like that. And monotheism is pivotal or central to their belief system. It's like you can't be a Jew or from Judaism and not be a monotheist. You can be a pantheist on your issue. With Marco, maybe other religions they are there, but to come to Judaism, you have to be a monotheist. To come to Christianity, you have to be a monotheist, and to be Muslim, you have to be a monotheist. Just that what constitutes or what the definition of what monotheism is where the divergence, problem. So that is the background of some of the things. So as you go on, the thing I'm making let me tell you this, so that I mean, most people don't. The reason why we sometimes even don't study much about Muslims is that their stuff are in Arabic.
Yeah.
It's all kind of Tawheed, and it's for instance, if you take Christianity and drop it in Greek, it will be difficult for people studying. The reason why people are accepting Christianity and trying to learn a lot of things, are questioning things, is simply because Christianity is presented in the people's language. Kasa nipa no ka wo mu a de wo na etete no and the church, but Islam is not like that. So sometimes it gives a problem. So the person who call look at it from that standpoint. So the moment you mention a term which is from Arabic, you have borrowed. Try coming down and explaining to be the listeners.
But I even have a comment on that, which is very good, sir. Okasan, I wrote something here. It is a misunderstanding, say, just obi ni Arabic and sana with Muslim in China could come. In debate I'm here recently, 3 days debate I'm here recently with the Muslim. Anybody who paid attention in the, I think, day 3, no, I think day 2, yeah, Quran, I did not use any Arabic
language, yeah.
But we were talking about the Quran. My point is, sometimes we want to reach them, and like you said, it's a burden. And Jonathan, where the problem comes from, no, sometimes not just from the Christian standpoint, but from the Muslims themselves. And there's a text in the Quran that says, the language that is accepted in Allah's presence, I mean in heaven, is the Arabic language. So it makes them, and mostly didn't come out, say, so what shall I say, who quote Quran in any other language, like English language, or say, and yet no Quran. Leave the text in the Arabic. And once it is Arabic, then you are quoting Yankopansem. Unya translate it and Yankopansem. I've shown that to be very false, and it's not true because we don't even know which of the Arabic Qurans they are talking about. We have over 30 different Arabic Qurans. That is a side point. But the Okani are very true, and I think say it's something Yapesi any Muslim didn't command. We should also highlight that. I will take note of that as we proceed. But talking about the concept, Arabic word now, more friend of that oneness, which is Tawheed, any Quran, it is not even in the Hadith. So I can say Hadith now, the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad. Say, oba to say nka Christopher, your Old Testament, your New Testament, then your commentaries.
So it's a commentary. Yes, so it's a commentary. For example, the Jewish Talmud. So Talmud is a commentary of the rabbis, on the text or the Torah, like if you want it that way.
Yeah,
good. That's the Babylonian Talmud.
It's very interesting. So, if you don't know the text of the Old Testament, they're boring. You don't want to.
It's just Talmud
commenting on it, and
that the Talmuds are like everyday discussions. And I'm not discussing it, we are talking everyday discussions of rabbis, scholars. They meet, then talk about issues. Maybe they bring something up, then they talk about it. So it's not something that someone has sat down to write. One person has sat down writing stuff. So they are fragmented. In their reading it, following it becomes difficult sometimes to grasp. But all the same, they are right.
Just like that, the little difference with the Hadith, and they say Hadith, Hadith, but most of them pronounce it Hadith. So it's sometimes it is written Hadith, but it is pronounced Hadith. So that
H-A-D what? D-I-T-H.
Hadith. But pronouncing Hadith. Most of them will say Hadith, especially Ghanaians will say Hadith. And say, no difference say in Islam, almost source of authority. Baby jina so de jibibi tumu no. They be kind of Quran no. They tosumi Hadith no. Mamenka Hadith no. Hadith no. In the Hadith no so no. Differences. Donyi ni ye weak. And no shada njintum. And de strong. Just no de reliable say Muhammad and Kasankasa and the kind. But even Muslims are and Quran only Muslims. Sayings of prophets no and to say a command but Mekan is saying it tells us there is so much we have to unpack about Islam. Yes. omoka bibia no aka ne sa no afa ne ho adi. Ma menka we quickly answer na bia you add up to it. Say hadith na make us say sayings of Muhammad no. Do you know say Muslims will tell us that a bibi a weak and bibi a strong, but even the weak hadith no, a chain of narration. Chain of narration they say, bra Muhammad kan, why not say Muhammad they can? Why not a the two ni team, odi baba the two ni team? And why or no so why in Islam no, or make actually say they have chain of narrations from prophets na be 2025 and unti na mo mutimi hu se Quran na firi nyame. And I say hadith no the Muhammad kind. But sa understanding no is a strong argument which refutes Islam say the Quran is not the word of God. Enti me person me emphasize whether weak hadith or strong hadith ni nyina chain of narration it leads back to Muhammad. So the question we can even ask is emu die he na e papa eno die da foforo ye be kan ho ase. But my point ni say oho no munya omo source of authority efri say yeti omo mindset na se a ebe boaye ama yetumi ni omo edi nkomo enti ye hwe Nyankopon ena ebe hu say Nyankopon no omo nti ase mu no onyame ni ba ontumi nwo ba na two Onyankopon is transcendent in the sense that obro na body so enti obo ade wie no ono ankasa onwura na body mu there in Christian theology ebe friend with theophany, theos and appearance, how God can appear in his creation. In Genesis chapter 1, chapter 2, you say, oh, Adam and Eve, Nyankopon ni wodi nkita ho. Oko later, Moses, Nyankopon appeared to him in the burning bush. Not just there, even in Genesis chapter 18 and 19, bra Nyankopon, the angel of the Lord.
So interacting with the creation, you know, in some form is what in theology, Christian theology, they refer to theophany, which means God appearance.
Yes, but in Islam, you know, there be or you above his creation. It is even like an insult.
Insult.
Yes, it's shirk. That is the greatest sin in Islam. So we compare Allah to say, hey, Allah waba, Allah to me run, hey, there be we are waiting. And it was very surprising in many Malam Sharif debates or admitting say actually God can enter his creation or say but only through his power. Many people might have not seen why I was excited when he said that. Just by admitting say Nyankopon put to me run about him through his power, he has rejected Islam. Because Islam, you know, it cannot be like that. All the and Yebetime commentators from Islam, Ibn Ishaq, Ibn Kazim, all the top Dawood, Ibn Dawood, all the top Islamic apologists, translators, interpreters of the Quran, Ebekacho say that doesn't happen, not even in his power. So over Christian theology, I say Bible mudia. It is so. Nyankopon ba so many times and then na body be interactive be din komo. So how come if you claim say you are following the same teaching? And so we looked at that mindset. And to end with the mindset of Onyankopon dieno, one of the things too that is in Islam maintain to say ye din komo mpa nipa dodo na highlight the concept of calling God Abba, Father. In Islam, Allah is not a father in any sense. I'm choosing my words carefully. He is not a father in any sense. In Tebia, Brajuna Tamamisa question. Say Christopher Walker say, Nyankopon or Eja. Are we by that saying a biological father?
No, they are not. You are not talking about our biological father. In fact, he is not our biological father. The Bible made it clear in the book of Romans that we are adopted. Yeah, Nyankopon ma wafaya ya bayemu. That is how the tree put it. But it's not our biological.
Jesus is on a general relation. Is biological? Say oba bema and a war.
Not that. I mean, not that. But I think that is how the Islam people look at it. They look at it like look at the Yesu Nyankopon ba. What you are meaning is that Nyankopon your baby. So the moment you say yes to Nyankopon, but the first thing will be sound and say, well, Nyankopon ne yere yɛn and
Yes.
it makes in their sense this way. It's not even Islam alone. See, when you are talking about it's a theophany and how God cannot interact with the creation, it brings my mind, when you were talking, it was bringing my mind the same idea that Paul was dealing with in Corinth, the Gnostics influence. Gnostics believe that the God that the God I knew no was totally spirit, fully spirit, and we are seeing totally fresh flesh, I should put it.
Yeah.
And God, who is spirit, cannot interact with
With the
flesh because flesh is wholly evil. Flesh is evil, so it cannot interact. So, in their mind, then the flesh is there, the world is there. How did the world come? They have to find a way of explaining things. One of the explanations is that the God who is totally spirit has to be creating demigods. He created a smaller God, smaller God, smaller God, smaller God. He got to Jesus Christ. Then Jesus created the world. And Paul had to deal with the whole issue. So some of these things you are telling us about Muslims, it does not originate alone from Muhammad. A false teaching that has always existed.
Yes.
They have always existed. So it does not originate only from Muhammad.
I
It's
was
something
going to. I like the angle now. Maybe I will free about do this point. So let me add a little to there. Maybe I will do it now concerning it not being original to Muhammad, and I will talk deeply about a guy called Waraka ibn Nufal. That is to say, Waraka, the son of Nufal.
Mhm.
Sani pe a cousin of Khadija, obeye Muhammad, the wife.
Mhm.
Sa Waraka ibn Nufal no. Jonathan or ye Nestorian or ye a false can say pseudo Christian or ye because of a denominational I will be a Nentiasia or wafa Jesus Christ hono. It is said they will describe ya. But on the end say Jesus or natures mean or the divine nature and I feel so or what the human nature. And according to him, these two natures is not in unity. It is distinct. So Jesus cannot be to say you can't say that Jesus is God. Okay, if Jesus is God, why did he die? Okay, if Jesus is God, why was he tired? If Jesus is God, and that was his teaching. We'll talk more about Waraka. And San na no kurano and no the convincing Muhammad. Me can't same way say in the presence of my Muslim friends, I'm say, hey, it's not true, but we look at their sources to see whether it is true or not. But it's true. What you are saying is not original to Muhammad.
Yeah,
By that time, the pseudo Christians are not spreading false ideas about trying to understand the nature of Jesus. One of the false ideas got to Arabia, and that was the Nestorian idea of Jesus Christ, and it's borrowed into the Quran, which is a false view. It is very true, say it's not original.
So it's for so I just want let's start today. We have been throwing more light and it's interesting. An apologetic it might be deep, but just rewatch the video. There are so many things that I have to should you. Don't worry. Don't worry about the stuff you are talking about. Just still you have doubt on something. Just watch it again. And free YouTube. It's always on YouTube. Just go on Charo TV on YouTube and search for it. It will be there. Go to our website, search for it. It's there. If you have an app, download our app, search for it. It is there. Just keep replaying it, and you get the concept of things that down so throughout. We are going to talk shortly about Quran. I don't know how do you even pronounce it. Either Quran or Quran, K or Q. We'll talk about that. But let me read some few comments that has come in. Now, also now you're discussing your makakra. So some few comments that have come in from I am Mami Yvonne. Jay, say good afternoon, brother. Mami, ciao. We Bernard Usu Ampafu, Ja Bernard. Also I'm here, brothers. You yes, you are. Mehu Jedu to highlight. And I'm upon Sikasem. Sikasem is so. My sikaning flu, sikaning here, sikaning here. And let us know where you're watching us from this apologetic hour. Me ama Ben Achen then Jumedi on apologetic hour. Charity TV Jumedi ni ebako. We just want the gospel of Jesus Christ to be known by every man. Ubi o wi asibiano intiminya kwenya na on Yesu Kristo asempa eno ene yedwumadi ene yedadwen ene yede so a nti bomode ne boy you can share the content. Just hit on the share button where any social media you are watching us from. Facebook, share to groups, copy the link, post it on WhatsApp. Say if YouTuber, just copy the link, share it on WhatsApp, invite friends, share it to your friend, tag people. Well, let them see the content. That they see it, whether they will accept it is their problem, but let them hear. But that's all.
Yes,
Go around with her. Video.
And your Quran recently they translated the Quran into Twi.
Okay.
I don't know if you interact with Muslims now, they can give you a copy of the Twi Quran, but they will still tell you Arabic in a way. And this is a website I recommend to everybody. This website, Quran.com. It has all the English translations. And if you go there, and I'm showing picture, any Yusuf Ali, some of the women in the Hilal Khan translation. You were different, and
so
I always say
yeah, so okay, say Hilal, I mean, when you say translation, do you mean like Bible? We have King James, we have NKJV, we have NIV, we have ESV.
Yeah.
When you say translation, what do you mean? And do they differ in terms of maybe language differences, or they are variant? Because a variant, I say we can say now we can't do they have those things in there?
Yes, sir. And this is just a simple way I made it to screen it. So please, I don't know if you can see it.
I can see it now.
Yes. So amongst Muslims, there were different, so many English translations.
Which must you mean in Takramaya?
I can send it out, but about 106 English translations there were, and even if you put the English translations away, there were different Arabic Qurans. In some and we have about 30 of them. Let me see if I put the slide here. Yes, this is it. 30 different Arabic Qurans. 30 more than that. And even so for one single Quran, say maybe the Edam Hilal Khan Edam Hasi. Say me fa assembly everyone say a can send for story be home. Obeko do baby for a kind story no na assistant story no.
Okay.
So fire Bible na Gospels no. Muslims like I say there are contradictions in the Gospels.
There are contradictions in there.
But they say a supplementation because one person can send one for all the details, no be a car count. But they treat them almost there be sanity. And they say aside 30 different Arabic Qurans, so offer just a single one of them. Your halves and a wash. They are obeying their two team halves and a wash. These are two major different Arabic Qurans. But offer halves and Quran as a wash and Quran. Stories near woman, Obekan or baby back, Obeko do next place no. Now what's a son, which is a big problem for Islam. And so bizarre say, is it different? It's very different.
So let's say for the first time, maybe you can show it us. For the first time, I picked up a Quran like that, and I presume in most Christian homes, there won't be something like Quran. All that we know about is our Bible, KJV, whatever. But let's take, for instance, I picked the first time I've encountered the Quran. First time. Quran, maybe it will catch my attention. For instance, mine here, if I open it, I clearly see that the Quran is not booked like the Bible. You see, the Bible has 66 books. The Quran is not books. They are chaptered.
Yeah.
Not a which other. There in the Quran, you can tell us so that we can get a view of how it looks like.
So that brings us to the teaching for today. One clear thing about the Quran, Muslim or claim or make about the Quran say, we enter Bible will be Old Testament and New Testament.
Okay,
yes, it doesn't have testament, but it has abrogations.
Okay,
abrogation, as they say. Ebia Muhammad Akasem or say Allah Eman revelation. It can be. Now later on, another revelation about now cancel the way the candy abano.
Good.
So
in the same, in your point that in the same Quran, maybe you read something in, let's say mine here. I have
Chapter 2 is
Surah,
the biggest
Surah,
chapter.
Surah Sad, Surah Sad. That is Surah 38 or whatever, how they call it.
Yeah.
Maybe my kind debut from there. Then I go to Surah Dawn, that is 89. Then I realize that Surah Dawn is saying something opposite to what Surah Sad in the 38 in Ekanwa. Your point is that the later revelation cancel the former, the above for the new revelation, cancel old one now.
Yes.
Nice.
And no be a problem Muslims, because unlike Christianity, we are dealing with two different testaments, two different systems. This is the same time period. It's not, and the Quran was revealed within 22 to 23 years, according to Islamic sources. So
and they were writing they were writing it as it was revealed.
Okay, that's another good question. The answer is yes and no, not all the time. So there were no Muhammad or secretary, a friend Zaid ibn Tabi. The Oyen say or Muhammad secretary. So say Muhammad revelation according to Muslim sources, he will start gegitating the revelation out. And sometimes to me was so part to say the whole fever. Then he'll be gegitating the things out. And as he's bringing the things out, he has companions. As I no more memorize it. No more memorize it. Then Zaid bin Thabit, so our honor, then they'll be memorizing it. So majority of the time, the text was memorized. In few instances, and almost Troy. But even with that, the intention was not to write it. So you can say Quran, and a recitation. And until not sorry Muslims, so what I recite it is not meant to be written down. It is meant to be recited. And it also helps us, Jonathan. Then our Muslim said that is why Quran you might not be able to make sense. I'm not saying this to insult Muslims. So like, to me, because story no, and this Bible okay, my kind Genesis, my whole story Israel for there.
So the point is this: it's not like the point is this: it's not like Colossians, the book of Colossians, where the book of Colossians have chapters, but they are all linked together in a single theme in the book of Colossians. Do for Colossians, you appreciate so the thematic message of Colossians now kind Colossian form, you understand why this chapter is here, why is it making this, it do make sense to you. The line is there. But you are saying that in the Quran, when you are reading it, let's say chapter 1, chapter 2, it doesn't make sense like the way the Bible makes it.
And I'll make another bold claim. There is, even if there is, it might be just one. There is no complete story in the Quran. I would give at most one, and that has a reason. I'm saying it again. There is no story in the Quran from Surah to Fatiha, that's Quran chapter 1, to the last Surah, chapter 114. Jonathan, I will be kind of okay, make kind story, no, I shall see it end. I would give just one story. And no crampono, so 99% of the stories in the Quran is not complete. So how do you understand it? You need to go to the Hadith. And that is a problem. Yet because Quran say it has been revealed in a way say a plain but Muslims will tell it's offer one single ayah, one single verse. You can have multiple interpretations. So we need backstory now, which is from the Hadith. You cannot know what is being said in the Quran. So this is a clear distinction. And Quran, a lot of studies. Chapter 2 is the biggest, and the chronology now was seen. That's how they've arranged it from the biggest to the smallest. And so, you read and you don't see the head and the tail of the stories. It's because that's the revelation. Ebana Muhammad, now the Ama, now Oma memorize it. It was later when Oma no memorizing and suggestion by from the first caliph, not Uthman. I think I've forgotten the name. Is it Abu something? Abu Bakr. Thank you very much. Abu Bakr was the first person who did the first recension. Say the people are dying. So why don't we create? Why don't we write it down? Then they called the secretary of Muhammad Ibn Thabit with Muhammad's wife, some other people, then they pen it down. The first writing no the man Muhammad wife, so keep it. Where did she keep it? She kept it under her pillow. For how many years? About 20 years, until Ibn the next caliph, Uthman, Ebae, then he came to do another recension. So that's it.
So, so why then are there multiple Qurans? So why then are there multiple? Is it coming from Abu Bakr Mutroy, you know, then Uthman Mutroy, you know, then as the caliph be about maybe the caliph did first of all explain the caliph, because the caliph is it like the Pope in Roman Catholicism? So who is caliph?
Okay. Mami, you will screen this. Okay, so caliph no it is say and said they were kind, or it is like a pope in the Catholics, among the Catholics. But the thing said, Brown said Muhammad Tiasana Islam Eshas, yeah. What they did was to conquer lands, a political system. So Islam is like Judaism, a political aspect and also the religious aspect. And that is the concept of Islam. And even in Ghana, that is the goal of Muslims. Their goal is to politically dominate.
Take over. Dominate the political landscape.
Yes, that's the aim of Islam. Policies influence everything. So in Muhammad's time, no, and or no dear mind, so no way. But because he was not a true prophet, we saw say his demise came and he had no successor. So who takes over from him? His companions, or only close companions, no. So there's an argument. Should we take it from the family side? And I say the companions are banned, but just after he died, then the companions no mubako. In the bay to say, on no munina kokoti, no, on a Caliph Abu Bakr, and che onusu wuye, and a Uthman by. But after that, no, even till date, there's a disagreement as to the ultimate boss of all Islam. And more better, some is saying family, so it be said there be not the family, but rather the companions' name narrations. No, and that is where the Caliph system, no, if you buy. But Muslim brain disagree with some of when they all and fan most of them don't even know.
They don't even know.
Yes, Quran the know here. In what sense? Quran the enemy say how after bra or more year recension, no, and I'm saying come the way nature, no. But you mean so
I can see it clearly.
Yes, intimamen kosra na menfa nature. So this is where the recension and everything started from. So this is the first recension. So Abu Bakr and Umar, he calls Ibn Tabi. Let me just read the name cover. So he called him to collect the Quran because they were being killed in the war of Yamama. Okay, then let's write it down. So they did the first compilation. Into first one, Omajiji. Okay, and what the man went Hafsa. Okay, I make a Hafs Quran.
Yeah.
This is the first recension of Moyeno. Omode Etman, Muhammad wife. Some fanto. She kept it for 20 years. Then Uthman came in. Then Uthman also said people are dying. Omo memorize the Quran now. You claim memorization is the perfect way of keeping the Quran. They were all dying. So how then do we get the Quran to everybody and everybody will say the same thing? Because at a point, Obiye Kadie is different. So they had to do another one.
So it was here. Even those who have memorized the Quran, so recite here, there will be differences.
Yes, differences in recitation, and it is because of this. Muhammad has selected 3 companions or say they are the masters of the Quran. Memorization, recitation, we are masters of it. Into be a person suya dia, monko sami and sawi. After Muhammad wuya, obey Ibn Kab. Na oye Muhammad, one of the trusted companions. No, someone called Ungo suya dia. Or say Quran Muhammad by 115 chapters. Another one. Abdullah ibn Masud, also Muhammad trusted companion, also Muhammad nane chere no Quran, also kwaka also the Quran here 111. And Abu Musa Ashari, also say there be Muhammad ma 116 chapters. And Zaid ibn Thabit, Muhammad secretary na nkasa, or say 114. Jonathan Temu di na befa, sa wuchu so anka find na befa.
Why me the second send and the tutu yeah. Your ben.
There be Mohammed Dankasa point is a mu dia megini dia mo pese musia mfiri no ye ube ibenka. Ono no say how many?
I say 115.
Unim de nti akofa problem we buy because according to Nkremofo no Quran no every baby e kan kitab Quran chapter 85 if the mother of the book nature say Allah ever ne say Allah enia one nchen no ena the present ehɔ ne wo enti enu oyi no de buy as Quran no enti Muhammad nsem ye ni Quran nim eye Allah nko asem and
yeah, so
what that also means is that it means Muslims believe in Calvinism because all that they will do has already been written down, right?
Yes.
A hona kofa problem because so kind Quran chapter 1 Surah to Fatiha a empire. Inti sa empire no eye Allah na na ebo mpaye in eternity ansa na Muhammad eba ana say empire a Muslims ebo e de kire Allah. Sa question we me bisa Malam Sharif we debate ni and it was surprised to say he stayed away from the question. He did not want to answer the question because Sawoka say empire. Say me pacho Allah ye ba ko penye Jesus and the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So who is praying to Allah? And because of that, one of the companions said that we in Revelation. Okay.
So so the point is this: all the surahs are God speaking to Muhammad to recite to the people. All the surahs.
Not even God speaking, it is God or Yama Jibril. And a Jibril Edema Muhammad. Into God is not.
By Jibril, you mean an angel. So
yes.
So by Jibril, you mean an angel.
Yes.
Okay. So God through an angel pushing something to Muhammad to recite to. So it's not, there's no narration in the Quran. Say, I said over the book of Luke and Acts. The book of Acts, you see sometimes Luke telling us that, Paul can say. So Paul's words will be quoted. And I say, for the book of Luke, or say yes, or church or temple, yes, can say. Then you see Jesus' words quoted in there. So you see we call in the Bible narrational comments from the one who is telling the issue. You don't see those things in the Quran. They are more of like God through angel telling Muhammad what to recite to the people. The Muhammad hearing, and you are making the point that chapter 1 is a prayer. So if Nyankopon na ebom paye ne there, then to who or to whom is he praying to? Is that your point?
Perfect. Because the argument is Nyankopon nkwan sem ne wo mu a, then sa mpaye no, and metimi aka mpaye se na be obehu se ne yet no say in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful.
Let me read mine. Maybe you'll be like Akwawi.
Me ame de media nenam.
No dia nenam. Maza, but me reading media the surah. I have the surah here. Let me read
surah
it.
Fatiha. And you can surah 2 Fatiha. Ayah.
Yeah. So yes, I mean in my text, I think I don't know whether really and very liberal because they just titled it the opening and they write Al-Fatiha. They call it Al-Fatiha. This is how it reads. In the name of God, the most gracious and the most merciful. All praise is due God, the Lord of the universe, the beneficent and the merciful, Lord of the day of judgment. You alone we worship, and to you alone we turn for help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of those who you have blessed, not of those whom you have incurred your wrath, nor those who have gone astray.
Oh, what kind of name?
May I mean the you na.
Okay, then you can one sim later. You can one sim later. But there are some things they all kind, they have added to say the anchor or the comments. That's why mostly I prefer Yusuf Ali.
Or the comment account.
Yes. Especially so kind Quran chapter 4, verse 171. even some of the major English translations, they add certain things that in Arabic in it. And with the little information I work on the Arabic dictionaries and lexicons are available, we can point out some of those things that they are lying. And English names are they are supplying it there. But the old kind, I am for the old kind, I am for say crampa. Or say verse 5. You alone we worship, and you will ask for help. Is this Allah talking or Muhammad talking? Oh, challenge, So it became, is it part of it or it's not part? Is it a prayer or not? Any Muslim you ask this will fumble. Or better can be a dodgy question. I can say, oh, there be. And this is one of my reasons. But who say me the chair? There were so many different
I can see it.
Yes. What different you can say 115, 116. And this almost say, oh, when memorization perfect now there. About the saying that Muhammad trusted companions no. Or different thing. About the saying in 2025, you were just one single 114 surahs na way in check. It is because Caliph Uthman, the Meccan he standardized the test. Or decided say there be yet me must say it happen. So what did he do? He decided to ban Qurans. Na ene the Zaid ibn Thabit wa enya.
Okay. In other words, the name Muhammad secretary no enya no or shini.
Yes. But only one good thing. Look at something interesting. Remember, the Quran means recitation. And you are reciting, you are memorizing a good team. And bra Caliph Uthman, Quran do one ne Zaid bin Thabit Muhammad secretary honomono. On any nya adwene honomono. Me pacho omo no memorizing. What happened to them? Say omo memorizing. They actually no washing. So what about those who memorize it? This part of history, Muslims don't, some of them don't know, and they don't like talking about it. People were burned. People were killed. Those who knew other recitations, they were destroyed. But, and on say even your Uthman, ne recension no like the Quran now, no, and the way in China, no.
The standardized. I mean, your point is that we don't still even have the standardized version of Uthman.
Yes, and I have an evidence to suggest that confirmed that we don't even have that. So already I made a China, bra Caliph Uthman or more standardized 114 or share other ones. Do you know that or distributed of 5 major cities? We don't have any manuscripts that suggest that these are Uthman's manuscripts, even the ones that were distributed. But what we have today is from 1924. It was standardized in Cairo. Intermediate, most of the ones we are using today, the Hafs Quran, the Warsh Quran, 1924 from Egypt, Cairo. And Derek is not the one saying it. These are from Muslim sources. So I have a strong argument. Amaka said, if Muslims are open and willing, let us discuss the manuscripts of the Quran. We don't have them with us. They were best I weigh about 60, and we don't even have them to be complete. So where is the argument? Say
so they were your sister 60 in which year? Is it in the does it date as far back as the 19 something or it dates back as far as Muhammad's era?
Jonathan, you're asking all the right questions. I like the questions. It doesn't. The closest your manuscript, your different Topkapi manuscript, Sana manuscript, polemicist manuscript, and none of them Topkapi na do wanna kind of say oh Jama ebia any Sana manuscript na ebia Munsem no complete, but the manuscripts are there today, and I have a book that has the manuscript that discusses it by Dr. Dan Brubaker. We don't have it.
So the point is that. So you made mention of the fact that there are 60, let's say 60 manuscripts. Do we have 60 manuscripts there?
About 60.
about 60. So the one, the point is that if you are to date it,
No,
say
it
this
doesn't
is
go
how
back
many
to. No, it doesn't. It doesn't go back to.
that mean,
No.
where does it
That's
go to?
confused.
Where does it go to? Does it go to?
The closest they get to because by 1924 the Cairo, then you go back to somewhere the either 8th or the 9th century. It doesn't date back to Muhammad or even to Uthman. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Today, that's not what we are discussing. Yes, I would.
Yeah.
It was light. No, if I get into it, I will
Don't
have to
worry.
explain previous things.
You have to explain to me. Just give me a few minutes. Let me read some comment and get back to you so that you continue your trajectory. Just give me a few minutes. I mean, some comment by Emmanuel Mr. So here live from Kupuridia. Mahu say, yeah, mama Emilia. Good evening, brethren. Anna, Mahu say, Eja Douglas Usubuatin so say at highlight. Mahu say Emmanuel Badin so at highlight. Anna, asemu. Emmanuel Badin at Gum say Isa Abdul Jalid Lafitte Isa Masa man for Bonnie Maso. Well, by the way, me try Islamic school 9 years old. Minti ekakakra bi ka me so ka me Abubakar Jonathan Abubakar ba mo de anti me to Abdul name bi angu ha. But let us know where you are watching us from. We'll be glad to know where you are watching us from. Let us know your comment in the comment section, right? Whether your questions and things. This apologetic hour and our issue there. Her lesson has been exciting, has been informative, and the lesson you are learning is preaching Christ to the Muslims, starting an effective conversation with the Muslims. We are going deep. Then we will wrap it up on something. So that's all. Let's get back to you. On your discussion, I only make a yes.
It is my main summarizing way. So
yes.
Your point in here say you say a Christopher rich Muslim, but we are looking at the mindset. And in a detailed open discussion, we look at the details of it. But I'm throwing some of these things out there. Say a Christopher who say on. We have neglected this area for so long. Say,
nobody challenge them. They mean that they think that there's no challenger. Christopher never problem. They don't have challenges.
And that is why I in the debate here, and I could have discussed there are so many scientific problems with the Quran. For example, say sperms are formed between the backbone and the ribs. It's error. But the sun sets in a muddy pool. There are so many problems, scientific problems, archaeological problems, even historical problems we can discuss. But it was not my interest. My interest is the text of the Quran itself, Arabic Quran. We don't have the original. Yet, aside the original, there won't so many issues. On the media to screen is so concerning the 7 Aruf. What is the meaning of Arufah? Muslims and Kasa till today and share down what it means. So, fault a recitation. So, in China, let me see if I can zoom into the picture now. Pacho, zooming in.
Zooming in,
okay,
yes.
Okay. So, you see, the center point is Muhammad, right?
Muhammad, yes. Then there's Uthman there.
Yes, and it comes back to 2 points now. Oh, sorry. This is Hafs and Warish. Pacho, so Hafs no. 1860.
Zoom out. Try zooming out to the picture. Let's zoom in again. Yes, zoom in. Good. Now it's better. Okay.
Yes. Also, 860 AD.
Yes.
That's the Hafs. Okay, my main class here. Warish. There's this one here, 796. Then we have the Warish, 812.
Yes.
Some way, over West Africa, they are popular. We use super Warish Quran, Arabic Quran. But some of the Ghanaians are meaning Malam Amineni debate. He says, "Oh no, they are memorizing unity." Hafs, 796 AD. But I told him it is not true. It is from 1924, and I proved that. But my point is, the mediator was saying the chain of narration. The chain of narration from the prophet himself. And it's all right. I say we have the companions. Into Quran free Muhammad in check. It wasn't written, it was memorized. And a material say memorization nankasa na omo mudi kan omo memorize na hard issue. You can see Umar here, Zaid bin Tabit here, Ibn Masud, Uthman, Ubay bin Kab, Ali, and these people had different Qurans with them. But Allah reveal Quran nama Muhammad no. Who say Muhammad or ye Arabian or can Arabic kasa? And yes, sir.
Yeah.
What Arabic kasa muno? And yamio Muslim sources now, the Muslim sources are telling us that the Quran was revealed. Some sources are saying in 7 different recitations. Ebimo also say it was revealed in 10 different recitations. What is
in the same Arabic? In the same Arabic or in different languages?
Same Arabic, but according to say oka fante, now oka gan, oka akan chi, now oka.
I get your point.
Now oka sana Muslim for person mo kachire you. Me explanation I make the Muslim kachire me, and I make say sana it means 7 hours. No say Nyankopon the ba. But oko can sound so na wuti because you another one I no Qiraat. Qiraat no ene ye recitation nankasa but aruf no eye words like alif lam mim. I said ibia
alphabets.
A B C D good
alphabets.
Enti emu de wo he na Allah or the bae according to Muslim sources no eye 7. The most of them ditum say eye 7. Enti Muhammad Corona no they say maybe Quran chapter 1. And chapter 1 about the about first Quran chapter 96. And first chapter bae. Now bae no according to Muhammad no Muslim sources no Muhammad reveal actually lechi before na or say or the aba in 7 different recitations. And no na akwa about 30 different Arabic Qurans I may know kan ho asem no. Enti me question na me kai bisa nkremofo ne say o say omo say na book no e wo Allah nchen o mo kitab na
otama na watoaba.
Good. Me question is said, what Allah nchen no. 7 recitations the one in chain. And I say a aruf ba kupe. Oh, my question.
Yeah.
Because Muhammad ni kroma of free no a Quraysh. Quraysh Arabic no. Is it different from the other people ne dieno ana? And when we go there, we look at the chain of narrations now, bepim supposedly bra betimia determiner. These 7 different narrations or 7 different aruf or 10 different recitations, no, it creates problem for the Arabic Quran. That was why Uthman had to standardize it. And yes, sir, Obi recited the ope. No, say there me choose only the Quraysh dialect. It is already slides no me the shemu. Yes. 3 others to help him does this. They are to write it only in the Quraysh dialect. And they send this final copy to every province. That is 5 of them. All of the other manuscripts, partial or full, which disagreed, were burned. So where are those 5? Today, scholars can't find them. And Jonathan said, we need a later discussion, we will unpack it more. But my point is that it is untrue. Some Muslims, say they have one single Arabic Quran in the world. When you engage a Muslim in any conversation, the pacho draw the attention to it. There are multiple Arabic Qurans, and they are not alike. There are differences. We'll look at the differences at a more appropriate time.
Yeah, I think your point is well made, and you have even gone 1 hour plus exhaust. I don't know whether you wrap up on it, but I want us to talk about, go deeper on Quran in the next episode, so that we can go deep because first of all, understand a bit any effective conversation, we have to understand them. We have to understand the context, Quran on the context, and then how the Quran came about. It's not like there were maybe 40 prophets or something, or authors that wrote together and they all receive inspiration from God. No, it's not like that. It wasn't Muhammad was sitting down and he recited and he writes it, he recited and he writes it. It wasn't like that. They have given us the context, the background. Most people don't even know. Um, we don't discuss it and things like that. So we have given us a context of how it like and the background on how these Qurans behave and their variations and these things. Vijiri say it has been insightful. Your final wrap up words, and then
Okay.
maybe we sign up for today.
Yes, shall see last week. Decided say anytime there be apologetic say especially Islam. We look at least 2 quotations obi oye Christo ni bia betimi de ato ho se na be ya okohia Muslim or challenge with GDA obetumi at least unim kra no unim bibia obetimi de aba. You don't need to know entire can saying Quran men kwatena se nkwa ha ho nkosua Quran ni nyina na untimi wani be ha ubejai e just help us all serious discussions like very very detailed. Yes know the basics. It's enough. Until last week you heard me you heard Quran chapter 4 verse 157. Mama say meet me there to screen as well.
Quran 4 verse 157. Let me read my
Quran chapter 4 verse 157.
Okay, they declared, we have put to death the Messiah, Jesus, the son of Mary, the messenger of God. They did not kill him, nor did they crucify him. But it is only seems to them as if it has been so. And those who differ in this matter are in doubt concerning it. They have no definite knowledge about it, but only follow mere conjecture. But they certainly did not kill him.
The first one we are Quran chapter 4 verse 157. Also when Jesus now our man send him, but it was only made to appear so. According to Muslims, no, Allah nankasa ne dada Christopher man yet said Jesus. Until they will tell you say Allah is the best deceiver. Some of their top scholars accept that. But over Bible, is it true say Jesus was not crucified? Jesus was crucified. So this is a direct attack on the Christian religion. And 1 Peter 3:15 say, "Yema a reason for our hope." So be catch say Jesus. At least we should be able to give that response. How do we do that? Chapter 5, verse 47. Last weekend, so 2 quotations.
5 verse 47.
Yes, verse 47.
Verse 47 or say, therefore, let those who follow gospel judge according to what God has revealed in it. Those who do not judge by what God has sent down are rebellious.
Yes, and just say the people of the gospel, no, let the people of the gospel judge by that which Allah has revealed therein. And the audio no, and no simunjina munamonjaji say Christopher, okay, ye tie the Allah catch and you fire Bible near Jajia. The part of the Quran chapter 4, verse 157 and Ukraine and Yanukre. Intimate no cremani, intimate and found to your team. And the quotation near Bakope, Quran chapter 10, verse 94. Obia found to team. Quran chapter 10, verse 94. Quran chapter 10, verse 94.
94. Yes. 94 says that if you are in any doubt concerning what we have sent down to you, then question those who have read the book before you. The truth has come down to you from your Lord. So do not be one of the doubters.
Yes. Sa Quran we inquire a whole sermon. What is the point in this text? This was Muhammad confirming his prophethood. The Muhammad ejina so agya tum say oyo difo na ne nsama o ka no etwa say afoforo tie no. O say Muhammad say what doubt anything na go to the people of the book. Which people no come asem? That is the scriptures, the Zabur, the Injil, and the Torah. The Torah, no, which is the Old Testament. Jesus Christ be friend the law, the Psalms, and the prophets. And no son Jesus be friend say Israel for son be friend. And also munko jinemu. And how then would you tell me say if Muhammad is to go to those who have the gospel, those who have the Injil, those who have the Torah, those who have the Zabur, in he is doubting her. That means they had it, and Jonathan.
Yeah.
For Muhammad to go to them, it means they had the gospel, they had the
it. Yes.
success with him.
Yes.
So today, some Muslim be catch it say Bible na ye wo en chen no e mun sem na sesan. Beside the question say any na he fan na was Muhammad call if he was in doubt. Come back to the Bible. We are calling everybody to come back to the Bible. Come back to the true Jesus. If you indeed o pese onya nkwaje a, just all such that we woman ho kwan ye bo asu. Onya nkopon do kana safo. No about bright. That is where there's salvation. So when we are starting our conversation with them, let us have this understanding. Say this is their mindset. Intihana edibisi.
And edibisi and the dance was to sell Jibre and Rebecca home. Now on apologetic one, you discuss it at length. Preaching Christ to the Muslims, and no, and yedi hujuma menso so biguswa yedi hujuma and yakasa omanioma egu bigiri yesu asua say never be in doubt say Quran can say doubt. I go to the book no say never be in doubt on your my can just rewatch the video. You don't go anywhere, just rewatch the video. Sadly clear should be why very clear. And let's read on it. I mean, some few comments, then we sign off. This is from Raffle Crapim Leroy. Was he always happy to hear Derek speak? So very happy to hear Derek speak. I'm more than na omumu number omumu number. O send him monoa then sabeka na adom no on so edia so bibi so no dia ya. We are still on Charo TV and we are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube. One more than this apologetic hour every Thursday. I shall send you. You're born to tell. So I need you to if one more than just mark it on your schedule, send it via your call live. You can also have time to join us and for us to be able to study media. Jonathan Mensa Bonsu. Until then, keep reading your Bible. God bless you and have a fruitful time. Bye bye.